Hello and welcome to our multiple subject information session for the Watson College of Education here at Cal State San Bernardino. So this specific information session is designed for our liberal studies integrated concentration students. So if you're not in the integrated track, then we encourage you to watch the general information session for multiple subject. Now, this information session will cover your track options as well as the admission requirements. So I hope by the end of this presentation, you'll have a better sense and idea of the steps to take to apply to our credential program. Now, we're glad that you are a CSUSB student and that you have decided to continue with your credential here in the Watson College of Education. We are state accredited by the Commission on Teacher Credentialing, and this is the commission that will issue your credential as soon as you complete the credential here at Cal State San Bernardino. So just please note that Cal State San Bernardino does not issue the credential, but we do recommend for the credential, and ultimately CTC will provide or give you that credential. Now, we serve the Riverside and the San Bernardino County areas, which is a pretty large area, and you have school districts and within these two areas that you can choose from to complete your hours while you're in the credential program. We also have the English Learner Authorization embedded in the program, so you're not expected to take any additional courses or tests since it's part of the curriculum. We have state-of-the-art building and facilities on both campuses at Palm Desert, as well as, of course, our main campus in San Bernardino, affordable tuition, and we train highly qualified teachers where our private, public, and charter school representatives come out to meet our candidates every year. So when that time comes around, we encourage you to attend those teacher job fairs. Now, a multiple subject credential is designed for candidates who are interested in teaching elementary. So as an elementary teacher, you may be also allowed to teach middle school depending on the school district. But as a multiple subject teacher candidate, you're teaching multiple subjects to the same group of students throughout the day. You're initially issued a preliminary credential once you've completed the units and hours within the program. Just know that everyone in the state of California is required to hold a California teaching credential to teach in a public school in our state of California. Program options here in the Watson College of Education, our courses are offered at the as a hybrid. So this combines both in person and online. So they're offered on both San Bernardino and Palm Desert if you're out in the low desert area. We also offer full-time and part-time options. And the pathway to earning your credential as a liberal studies integrated student is student teaching. And in the next slide, I'll explain what student teaching means. So the student teaching pathway is a pathway when a student is gaining their clinical practice hours under the guidance of an assigned mentor teacher in the last semester of the credential program. So you are also working with the university supervisor that is assigned to support you throughout that last semester. And during this time, you're not going to get paid. So it's this unpaid clinical practice hours. So you do report every day to your school site. So it's important that you understand you cannot hold a daytime job during that time. So again, this is the last semester of the credential program. So we encourage you to submit your financial aid application and see what resources might be available to you to make sure that you can pay for tuition and, of course, your living expenses. The great thing about student teaching is it allows you the opportunity to gain the experience without actually being completely responsible for the classroom. And it also provides you the opportunity to network. And we hope that as soon as you finish the credential program, of course, you can secure a contract with the school district quickly after. Now, I've included the internship option because I just want you to be informed that this is an option for students who have gone through the general admissions process. The internship is a paid position, but since you do not have a bachelor's degree, this is not an option for you. But I just want you to be aware that as you sit with your other classmates and they may mention that they're interns, the majority of our students do complete the program as student teachers. If you're bilingual, we strongly encourage you to consider bilingual added authorization. So if you're bilingual in Spanish, this will provide you another opportunity. It doesn't mean that you only can teach bilingual, but it means that you can also do that as well. There's also the X-Mile grant that could pay your full tuition. So this is a great benefit for our liberal studies students, specifically going to the multiple with the bilingual authorization. If you're interested, I would encourage you to reach out to Dr. Jordi Solsona Puj. You can scan the QR code for more information. This allows you to teach dual language programs or in a traditional alternative bilingual classroom. During the program, you may or may not have to take additional courses. You will be tested to see where and how you meet language competency in Spanish and Latino culture. So reaching out to the program coordinator as soon as possible is going to be ideal. Now let's discuss the program track options. But before we do that, let's look at the co-requisites. So there are a total of 4 co-requisites. Now, these courses are part of the curriculum, part of the liberal studies degree. So you should be able just to check them off your list. But I just want to make sure that you completed these courses and you've got a C or better in these courses. Now, you have English 3110, which is an intro to linguistics. You also need a child development course, EDMS 3010 or CD 2240, Health Science 1000, and ESPE 3350 or CD 3350. Please note that 3350 must also be completed. If you don't see it on your pause report, make sure you reach out to your liberal study advisor. So here is our course sequence track A. So this is our fast track. Courses can be completed for the credential in 2 semesters. It's 33 semester units long. You're taking 18 units in the first semester, 15 units in the second semester. Now, along with your 18 units in the first semester, you'll note that you have to complete 96 hours of early field work. So each of these courses have a number of hours tied to them. And semester 2 has student teaching along with your TPAs or the teaching performance assessment. This is a seminar providing you with the guidance and help from your faculty advisors through that process. TPAs must be passed before you can apply for your credential. Now you'll note that there are 2 courses that have a B, and those are for bilingual candidates. Courses are always late afternoon, evenings, so after 4 p.m., and each course will meet once a week. You can start in the fall or you can start in the spring. We currently do not offer classes in the summer or in the winter intersession. Course sequence track B, still 33 semester units long. We're just spreading out your units out. So you're only taking 12 units in semester 1 and 2, and then drops down to 9 units in the 3rd semester. Track B simply gives you a little more flexibility. So let's just say you have some undergraduate courses that are still pending or that need to be completed, potentially concurrently with the credential program courses. That is an option with the approval from the program coordinator, only if you're needing maybe 1 or 2 courses. But that will definitely be an option, but you can only consider track B if there are courses that still need to be completed for your undergraduate degree. Now, we strongly encourage you to consider adding a master's degree after you've completed your credential. Of course, you cannot complete the master's with your bachelor's and your credential. You'll have to graduate and then apply for your master's. But we have the MA in education that will transfer 18 units from your credential. You'll be left with 12 units to complete the master's in education, and that can be completed in 2 semesters. You also have the master's in STEM education. This program will transfer 12 units from your credential, and you'll be left with 18 units for the MA in STEM education that can also be completed in 2 semesters. So our program gives you the flexibility, offers classes in the evening, online or in person at both campuses. Now, why should you consider a master's degree? It does help with increase in salary, of course. You can work with expert faculty in the field. You have the flexibility to really schedule these courses as you would like. You have affordable tuitions. You only have a few units more to complete the MA. You have also the supportive community of faculty and educators that will help you through this process. And of course, you're gaining that practical experience that you can apply to really your classroom and furthering your career. For more information on all of our master's programs, you can scan the QR code for more information and to speak to one of our program coordinators. Program and mission requirements. So we're going to go through our program and mission requirements, what documents you need to provide the College of Education as you transition from your bachelor's degree into the credential phase of your plan. One thing to know is that as an integrated student, we do not use Cal State Apply. That's an online system used for everyone else but you. So these documents should simply be emailed to our Watson College of Education. So what are the program and mission requirements? So we're going to go through the list of these requirements, and each of these documents, if needed, will be provided to you by the College of Education. So you'll need to have a program application. This is really a cover sheet that will be provided to you by the College of Education, just stating that you are an integrated student now ready to start the credential phase of your plan. If you're considering the bilingual added authorization, you'll also need the approval form from Dr. Solsona Puig. So again, reach out to him, make sure you get it assessed, and if you're approved, he should be able to provide you with this form. You'll also need approval from the PALS office, the Phase 1 Candidate Department Consent Form. This just is simply to review that you're ready to transition into those credential courses. So this link will also be provided by the College of Education, and it's a pretty simple form that you fill out and will automatically go through the PALS office. 2 recommendation forms are required. These can come from professors, employers, or supervisors. It should be someone who knows you well enough, of course, not related to you. They should be able to answer the questions professionally and or academically. You also need to show proof of 45 hours in the K-12 classroom. This can be observation hours, volunteer hours, worked hours, but you might have also completed these courses already that required hours. Part of those courses, as you look at your logs, you would have completed these hours. So if you completed EDMS 2301 or CD 2245, 46, or 47, or EDMS 3010 at Cal State, these courses, upon completing them successfully, you also completed the 45 hours. So we're not going to ask for any additional proof of completing these courses as long as we see them on your PAWS report. Now, if you did not complete these courses or you completed them at a community college, then as long as they're equivalent courses, we'll accept them and you do not need to show more proof of that. You also need to provide a valid certificate of clearance. The clearance is usually good for 5 years. However, if you have another permit, a sub permit or a preschool permit, or any other type of permit that has been issued to you by CTC, we will accept that as clearance if it's current. We do not accept live scan forms as clearance. The live scan form is the first step to getting the certificate of clearance. So live scan is done. That can be done through our police station here or any other police station, sheriff's office, or any other agency that provides the live scan service. Your second step would be to apply through CTC for the certificate of clearance. Takes a few days after that to then be issued the clearance. So steps and instructions on how to complete and receive the clearance will also be provided to you by the College of Education. Negative tuberculosis tests. So these tests are good for 4 years. Skin, chest x-ray, or blood work. Either one will be accepted as long as it's a negative and good for the last 4 years. But risk assessment questionnaires we will not accept. You can go through our student health center. They start at $10. And if you do need an x-ray, it may cost a little more. You also need to provide a personal statement. So a little bit about you, no more than a page, maybe about 600 to 700 words for that personal statement. And then, of course, a copy of your PAWS report. This is just to confirm that you completed your lower division coursework. Most of you would also have your upper division coursework completed. And then your GPA. This is an cumulative GPA of a 2.5. So all these documents should be uploaded to an email to the WCOE admissions at csusb.edu. Again, WCOE admissions at csusb.edu. Basic skills requirement. So the basic skills requirement is met by all of our candidates who've earned degrees, of course, from Cal State San Bernardino. We understand that as an integrated student, your degree has not been awarded, but that will not be a problem. As soon as you complete the degree, your basic skills would also be met. And at that time is when we would recommend for the credential. So you don't have to show proof of the basic skills. Verification of subject matter. So this requirement is now met according to Assembly Bill 130 by your liberal studies degree. Your degree is still pending. That is not a problem. We understand as an integrated student, you will meet this requirement as soon as you have completed the degree and the credential courses. So you do not have to take the CSUT exam. So overall, the credential admission steps is number one, gather all your admission documents, email them to WCOE admissions by the program deadline date. You'll receive an email as soon as they confirm that all your documents have been done correctly, an interview survey. And as soon as you complete that interview survey, then you'll be admitted and invited to attend a new student orientation. Now, once you attend the orientation, it's during the orientation that you pick your school districts and you receive your program plan. At that point is where you choose between track A or track B. And then as soon as your window opens, you'll register for your classes. Spring 2026 application deadline dates start as early as August 4th, and then it closes on October 6th of this year to start in the spring of 2026. So you can start submitting as early as August. And if you're hoping to start in the fall of 26, then you would submit your application document sometime in the spring of 26. So tuition costs for the credential program is the same as your undergraduate tuition. So that does not change. So that's one of the huge benefits as an integrated student, that you're paying the same tuition costs. So it doesn't change as you shift as a credential student because your status doesn't change either. So you'll be paying about 4,300 per semester if you're taking 6.1 plus units or more. But as always, we encourage you to submit your financial aid application. So you may be eligible to receive the Golden State Teacher Grant that could potentially award you up to 20,000. You also have the Teach Grant that can award you up to 4,000 each year for up to 2 years. You do have to have a 3.25 GPA and then commit to teach in a low-income school for 4 years. But those 4 years can be used towards the Teach Grant as well as the Golden State Teacher Grant. You also have the X-Mile grant, of course. So if you're considering the bilingual program, that's another grant that might help you pay off your tuition. Project Impact. So Project Impact is an initiative to increase our male minorities on our K-12 campuses. Dr. James Huff is a director, and we encourage you to reach out, scan the QR code, get some more information about it. There's more tuition support there, as well as some mentoring support. So Dr. Huff is great in supporting students throughout this journey. So please consider, let us know that you're interested. And finally, we ask that you connect with us. So if you have more questions, please reach out to the College of Education. You can email at coeinfo@csusb.edu. That's coeinfo@csusb.edu. Or you can call our number at 909-537-5609. You can scan the QR code to see our different ways to contact us. Meet with one of our advisors for more information. We thank you so much for watching this session, and we hope that it was helpful, and we look forward to working with you. Have a great day.